This is Money, Motivation, and Mike, and I am your host, Michael Wainwright. In charge of the show is Jason Wright. And hello to you, world. This is the show that can and will change your life. Jason, it is college football end of the year time. It is time to figure out who's going to make the college playoffs. Here we are a couple of days away from what we call college conference championship weekend, with a couple of things to be decided, but frankly, not many. And one of the main reasons for that is because the college football playoff went to a 12-team bracket last year in 2024. And I believe we talked about this last year on the show, where up until 2014, you're ranking teams, and the first-ranked team and the second-ranked team played each other in a bowl, and we called that the championship game. And way before that, you may not even play the number one team or the number two team, and you may win the championship. And it was always been a funky deal with college football, because college football did not have a playoff. Then they went to what we call the BCS Bowl. Then in 2014, they expanded it to 4 teams. And then in 2024, they expanded to where we are now with 12 teams in 4 rounds. So guaranteed bids for the top 5 conference champions in the college football playoff rankings. All right. Then no other conference has an automatic bid, and a conference must have at least 8 members for its champion to be eligible for a guaranteed bid. The reason I say that is because the Pac-12, the big Pac-12 used to have obviously 12 teams in it, and they've all broken up. And some of those teams have joined the Big 12, and some of them teams have joined the Big 10. So Pac-12 only has 2 teams, and so their champion is not going to be an at-large bid. So in 2024, the 4 highest-ranked conference champions received the first-round byes, 1 through 4. But they've altered that here in 2025 with the 4 highest ranked teams overall now receiving the first round byes. Now, the reason I point that out is because Ohio State is number 1 and Indiana is number 2. They're both 11-0, the only 2 undefeated teams left in the country, and they play each other for the Big Ten championship. So whoever wins that game will probably not fall below 4, which means both of them would get a bye. Where in the previous, you had to be a conference champion to get one of the top 4. As a matter of fact, and then the other champion would be 5th, which means they would then have to host a first round game, because the first 4 get byes. You got the other 8 teams playing each other. And obviously 5 to play 12, and 6 to play 11, 10 to play 7, and 8 to play 9. So I'm going to give you today what I think is going to happen this weekend with our college conference title championship games. And frankly, there's only one that really is going to amount to anything. But before I get into that, I want to rip off here what the top 16 is right now in college football, because, and the reason I'm going to 16 is because I am going to point out something about the number 16 team. And here's how it rolls right now. Ohio State's 1, Indiana's 2, Texas A&M's 3, Georgia's 4, Texas Tech is 5, Oregon is 6, Ole Miss is 7, Oklahoma's 8, Notre Dame's 9, Alabama is 10th. BYU is 11th. Miami, University of Miami, because we also have a Miami of Ohio, Jason. So
I didn't know that.
So Miami, Florida is 12th. Utah's 13, Vanderbilt's 14, Michigan's 15, and Texas is 16. I'll also point out that number 24 is Tulane, and North Texas State University, now called the University of North Texas in Denton, Texas, is not ranked. All right. The reason I point that out is because the 2 of those teams play each other this weekend. And the winner of that game will be the 5th highest ranked conference champion. Guaranteed a spot. Now, they're not one of the top 12 teams, but one of those teams is going to make the top 12 in the college football playoff. One of those teams is going to make it. Now, most people here a couple of days before the weekend is picking Tulane, the Tulane Green Wave, to beat North Texas. I am going with North Texas. North Texas State University is going to be in the college football playoffs. You heard it here first.
Is that wishful thinking?
Nope. And I'm going to tell you why. Number one, I think they're better than Tulane. Number two, the North Texas coach is taking the Oklahoma State job. But he is getting to stay at North Texas, play out this conference championship, and then if they make the playoffs, he's going to get to coach in the playoffs. And I believe that he and that team want to go out on a winning note. So that's why I believe that they're going to beat the Tulane Green Wave this weekend. Now, here's something interesting. The Tulane Green Wave will play the University of North Texas Mean Green. So Green's going to win this game.
One way or the other.
Yeah. And I'm thinking right now it's the University of North Texas, and that's my reasons why. And now, because what you also got to remember is with this goofy, terrible transfer portal that the college game now has, allows kids to leave a university and go to another school. The North Texas coach has brought in 70 of his own players to North Texas. He went and revamped that whole roster. Guess where those sophomores and juniors are probably going to be playing next year? Oklahoma State.
Moving up north.
Moving up north, going up to Stillwater. You bet your bottom dollar.
Up 35.
I would bet no less than 35 players. We're going to check back with this in January. Mark this down. 35 players will transfer from North Texas to Oklahoma State. I believe it. Now, they'll do that after North Texas beats Tulane, and then they get beat out in the first round of the playoffs. That's what I'm projecting. So you heard that here first, and I think that's how it's going to go down. All right? So there we are with that. Now, moving right along here. Here's your other big games. BYU and Texas Tech will play each other in the Big 12 championship this weekend in Dallas. Actually, Arlington, over there at the Cowboy Stadium. Texas Tech has already beaten BYU, and they will beat BYU again. All right? Now, after you get these 5 conference champions, the next 7 highest-ranked teams fill in blanks 5 through 12. All right? So you may be one of what you think you're one of the best teams in the country, but you're ranked 14th. You're not going to make it. Just like right now, where BYU is ranked 11th. They're not going to make it unless they beat Tech. Because, all right, you would think Tech's ranked 5th, we're ranked 11th, BYU. So we can't move down any farther if you get beat by a team above you. But they automatically get knocked out because they're not the conference champion, and you've got to put Tulane or North Texas in because they are a conference champion. So that's where you get funky. But, hey, go win all your games, and then you don't have to worry about it.
Right.
And so there's something to be said for that. All right. So that's one of the games. Tech's going to beat BYU for the second time, and BYU's going to drop anyway. They can't wait to get Brigham Young out of the top 12. And they're going to fall. They're going to fall below Texas. Remember, Texas is 16. And as I make my argument here, remember, I'm an OU fan. I can't stand Texas. Even though I live in Texas. Obviously, Jason, we live closer to Norman, Oklahoma than we do Austin.
Yeah.
And I'm all about the Red River rivalry in Oklahoma and Texas, but I am not a Texas fan. Now, you got to remember that when I'm making my argument. Okay? Because I'm going to be making an argument for Texas to be in the playoffs with 3 losses. All right? Here we go. Texas is going to beat BYU. BYU's out. Okay? Then we go to the Big Ten. Now, remember, Ohio State's ranked 1, Indiana's ranked 2. Ohio State will be in Indiana. Indiana will drop to no farther than 4th. They'll probably drop to 4th. Okay? That's what I predict. All right? You with me so far?
Yeah.
How we doing so far? All good. All right? The other big one is Alabama and Georgia play at the Alamo Dome. I'm sorry about that. That's not Georgia Dome. Alamo Dome's obviously in Texas.
Yeah.
Alabama and Georgia will play in the SEC Conference Championship, which is played in Atlanta, Georgia. It used to be called the Georgia Dome. They rebuilt it. I'm not sure. Mercedes-Benz Stadium now.
That's right. Yes.
That's what it's called. Now, Alabama has beaten Georgia in Georgia. Georgia will beat Alabama this time around. Okay? That will give Alabama 3 losses. They would have lost their opening game to Florida State. Then their only other conference loss is getting beat by Oklahoma in Alabama. And then Georgia's going to beat them to give them 3 losses. Because there's going to be a 3-loss team make the playoffs ahead of these 2-loss sister teams, is what I'll call them. The cupcakes of the top 25. All right. You with me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I got Tech winning. I got Ohio State winning, but only dropping Indiana to 4. And I have Alabama beating Georgia. Now, the reason it's big for Alabama to beat Georgia is because Alabama will have 3 losses. The Florida State loss is what we call a bad loss. They got beat by Oklahoma. Oklahoma's ranked 8th. All right. They're going to get beat by Georgia. Georgia's ranked 1. Good losses. Top 10 teams. But then you got to factor in this Florida State game. You played it, you lost it, you got to factor it in. That Florida State loss is going to drop them down below number 16, Texas. Mark my word. You heard it right here. Okay?
So if they lose this weekend,
they are dropping out of number 10.
Yep.
And they will drop out of the top 12.
Yep.
And I believe they will drop past Texas, which is number 16 right now. Gotcha. But just for the record, since 2014, and we went to this current status, Alabama's made the playoffs 9 times. 8 times. They have won the most playoff wins, 9. They have won the most championships in 3. How about that?
So impressive.
Yes. But you got to remember, Nick Saban's no longer there.
Yeah.
The God coach. He's gone. Last year, they didn't make it, and they're not going to make it this year either. Georgia's going to take care of that. The Bulldog is going to be unleashed. He's coming out of the doghouse, and it's going to be naughty. I just feel it. And frankly, Alabama had a chance to lose Saturday night in the old Iron Bowl against Auburn. That almost happened. Auburn fumbled late trying to tie the game up, and Auburn wasn't very good. But you know how those rivalry games go. Nevertheless, continuing on. Okay, so you know who the conference champions are going to be. Now, like I say, Ohio State is going to be number 1. Georgia is going to be number 2. You with me so far?
Mm-hmm.
I believe Texas Tech will be number 3. And Indiana will be number 4. Got all that?
Yeah.
You with me so far?
Oh, yeah.
All right. That is what I am projecting. That's how it's going to roll. Then you're going to get into Who's next? Texas A&M will be 5th. They only lost 1 game to Texas. Remember that, to Texas. Ole Miss will be 6. That's what I am projecting right now. Oregon will be 7th. All right. Oklahoma will be 8th. And Notre Dame will be 9th. Interesting tidbit about Notre Dame. They started the season 0-2. And
wow.
Yeah, and they've ripped off 10 games in a row. All right? Now, after that, the 10th team will be University of Miami. You got that down there for me?
University of Miami.
Well, Notre Dame, here you go. I think Notre Dame lost to Miami and Texas A&M. I believe that's correct. I know they lost to A&M. But nevertheless, Miami will be 10. Okay. Alabama drops out. They have 3 losses, and that Florida State loss is going to hurt them. Okay? Now, the top 9 teams in the rankings right now are going to be placed in those top 9 slots, some form or fashion. I've told you what I think is going to happen. Okay? Number 10, Alabama. They're going to lose that 3rd game. They're going to drop out. They're going to drop on down. BYU is going to get beat by Tech. They're the number 11 team. They are going to drop on down. Okay? Miami, they're the 4th highest ranked conference champion, which they will come in the 10 slot. All right? They're 9-2. They can't lose anymore. They'll come in the 10 slot. Utah at 13 did not make their conference championship, which is going to hurt them, in my opinion, because their losses are to, I believe, Tech and BYU. All right? Then we get to 14. 14 is Vanderbilt. Incredible. Vanderbilt and Tennessee played this year for like the 125th time. It's the first time in the history of that rivalry that both teams were ranked when they played the game. I mean, Vanderbilt's been a pushover.
Yeah.
But you got to remember, Alabama didn't make playoffs last year. They rode into Vanderbilt last year and got beat. I stayed out in Nashville a little too late that night. Probably hanging out over at Kid Rock's bar or somebody's.
Yeah, I don't follow a lot of college football, but
yeah,
when I think of college football, I don't think of Vanderbilt.
That's correct.
I think now basketball.
Baseball.
They used to be pretty good at basketball. You used to be in the Final Four quite a bit, or March Madness. Anyway.
They've won the World Series a couple times.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Jack Leiter, the Ranger pitcher, Vanderbilt ace. Kumar Rocker, there you go. All right. So I've told you how Vanderbilt is going to get jumped over because Texas beat them. All right. Then we come to number 15, Michigan, who's been playing well. They just got beat by Ohio State. They're going to drop. All right. OU, Oklahoma, also beat Michigan, which hurts Michigan because Texas beat OU. So you would think Texas has got to be in front of Michigan. Texas has got to be in front of Vanderbilt. You understand all that logic?
I do.
And they can go and have Utah and BYU play each other in the chicken soup bowl or something.
Mm-hmm.
Alabama loses. Texas jumps these teams. Texas comes in at the number 11 slot with 3 losses. Now, they have a terrible loss. Texas does. They lost to Florida. Florida is a better team than Florida State. That's what I'm saying. And another reason Texas jumps Alabama is just like with the Michigan deal. OU beat Alabama. Texas beat OU. OU beat Michigan. Texas beat OU. That's why they're going to jump those teams. Texas, in its own right, beat Vanderbilt. They're going to jump them. And like I say, BYU's going to lose again to Tech, and they're going to slide. Yeah, I'm putting them in the tomato sauce bowl. That's where they're going to go. Figure out where that's held, Jason. Now, did you write all this down, Jason?
I'll make the list out.
You've got me right here on the record.
Yep.
Mark it down. The upset of the week. University of North Texas beats Tulane and makes the playoffs. And the Cinderella story is going to last another week, as the coach and most of his team are going to Oklahoma State in about a month. All because of that transfer portal. You heard it here first.
See how it plays out.
And from the depths of number 16 and 3 losses, the University of Texas moves into the 11th slot, right in front of North Texas and right behind Miami. As always, you can find us you can contact me at info@mx3.vip and find all of our content at mx3.vip or on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/NMX3 Podcast. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to get notified of all of our new content, which comes out every Monday morning around 9 o'clock. As we sign off here, I'm going to tell you one last thing. After Ohio State beats Indiana, 125 plus Division I teams, there'll only be one undefeated team. It'll be Ohio State. Ohio State, the defending champion, Jason, will not win the national championship. Go ahead and put that in your Las Vegas catalog too.
Who do you give
I'll be
the
back.
win to?
Oh, I can't give that. I can't give that out right now. Oh. The viewing and listening audience will have to come back here in a couple of weeks.
Gotcha.
And we'll get back to that before the first round of the playoffs, which is like the 19th and the 20th, whatever those days are. That's when that'll all go down. 19th and 20th, first round. That's a Friday, Saturday on campus, because 5 through 8 get to host 9 through 12 at their home stadium. That will be a helper to OU beating Notre Dame. The rest of them, the higher seeds are going to win. Also depends if Texas gets in. If Texas gets in, they will win their first round too. For everyone who's been a part of Money, Motivation, and Mike, continue to live your life the right way.